Okay students, now this is our second part of our revision session of Footprints book. Okay, so we are starting with the chapter number 7, that is The Necklace, written by Guy de Maupassant. Now this story is about a young woman who has suffered lots of hardships in her life because of her impractical desires and aspirations. Okay, now this lady is Matilda, who is our protagonist here. Okay, she does not know how to live within her means. Okay, so whatever, since she belonged to a very middle class family, she always aspires to be rich, and she felt that she has been born to enjoy all the riches and lavishes of the life. Okay, now Loisel, who belonged to a middle class family but wants to live a lavish life, here her husband is he is a clerk and who cannot afford to fulfill all her demands and aspirations. Now with that, one day what happened, Mr. Loisel, he got an invitation for the minister's party which was at his residence, and for that party he was been very happy, but Mrs. Loisel, that is Matilda, she was very hopeless, and she felt very sad, started crying, and the reason was that she shared that she is not having a perfect dress to wear in that party, so that invitation is a useless one for her. Okay, so for attending a party, Loisel decides to borrow a necklace from her friend who is quite rich. Now her husband, he agreed to spend 400 francs and to get a nice dress to be purchased by her. Okay, so she was being given that money, she purchased a pretty beautiful dress also, but still she was having one aspect was been lacking, that was the jewel. She was not having any jewel, so she decided that she will borrow a piece of jewelry, that is a necklace, from her friend. Okay, and that is how she wanted to pretend in the party. She wanted to present herself to be a very rich and pretty beautiful lady, and it happened also like that. Okay, so when she went to the party, she was the only attraction over there, and she was one of the most prettiest lady in the party. Everybody was been giving compliments, and they were been giving her their attention, and she was immensely happy to find that attention and all those compliments in that evening, and it was a happening evening for her. But when she came back from that party, what she discovered, that Loisel, she lost the necklace while returning from the party. Now when she came back, both the husband and wife, they kept on searching for that necklace here and there, reported in police also, in the cab office also, but nothing happened actually positive, and they were unable to find that necklace. So finally Loisel and her husband, Mrs. Loisel and her husband, they spent all their fortunes and borrowings to buy a similar looking necklace, which cost them a good fortune, somewhere around 36,000 francs. Okay, so they spent all the money which Mr. Loisel, he inherited from his father. He borrowed lots of money also to complete that amount of 36,000 francs, and finally they bought that necklace, which was a look alike of that necklace which she borrowed from her friend. Okay, now after that, Matilda, Mrs. Loisel, she went to her friend and returned that necklace back to her. Okay, after that, a new phase of their life, which was drastically miserable, it started, because now they have to repay the debt and the borrowings which they have taken from the various money lenders for purchasing that necklace. Okay, now after that they have to do everything which could be done so that they could repay the loan. Now, it takes about 10 years of hard work and lots of sacrifices before she is able to repay all her loans. So she did all kind of house chores. They changed their house also. They shifted to a small house in a very loomy kind of place, and Mr. Loisel, he took 3 types of work so that he can earn extra money to pay the debt. Mrs. Loisel, she also kept on working very hard. She was been residing in a miserable state, working very hard, lost all her beauty, and it took around 10 years for them to repay all that loan. Finally, the loan was been repaid and both felt relaxed after that repaying of the debt. Now, the time and all the hard work take their toll on her, and she ages quickly. So basically, because of that complete hardship which she faced for 10 years of long time, her beauty and her young age, everything was been vanished. Okay, she looked quite aged, and she was been her state was been also very very down now. She was not at all pretty looking lady as she was been earlier. Okay. After that torturous period had passed, she happens to meet her rich friend and tells the whole story. Now, what happened one day, that one Sunday, when she came across Mrs. Forster, Mrs. Forster is her friend, and she was been walking on a street, and Matilda, she recognized her, and she went to her and told about. Mrs. Forster was very surprised to find Matilda in that state. She was unable to recognize her first at all. Okay, then Matilda, she came out with her story that how she lost the necklace, and then she replaced the necklace. She had to borrow lots of money, and then finally now they are able to repay it. But during these years they had to suffer a lot and they have to work hard. It was a very hardship period for them. Okay, lots of hardships were there. So Matilda, she shared all that story, and Mrs. Forster was very she felt very sad about Matilda, because the reason why she felt very sad about all these things happened just because her friend tells that it was a diamond necklace but a cheap imitation jewelry. Then she revealed the fact at that moment that that necklace was not a real diamond necklace, it was a imitation jewelry, it was a fake those were the imitation diamonds, and it was hardly of worth 500 francs. It was it was not a real diamond necklace, and there Matilda finally realized. So the story ends over there with that truth revealed by Mrs. Forster, and the message being conveyed by the story is that we should be satisfied with whatever we have got from our destiny, okay, rather than just running behind, envying others, being jealous of other people, their riches, their lavishes. Okay, that will only be a harmful aspect for us, and it will lead to our downfall. So now students, let us move to our next story, that is the hack driver. Now, the hack driver, chapter number 8, written by Sinclair Lewis. Now, this story is about a young lawyer who is too innocent. He goes to a village to serve a summon to a person called Liutkins, Oliver Liutkins. So here, the protagonist here in our story is a young lawyer, and this young lawyer has joined a very reputed law firm, and he was into his internship. Now, he was given a job role to serve summon to various people. Okay, now one day he was been actually he was been not he did not like the job role which he was being given to him. Okay. And one day what happened, he was very excited because he was required to serve a summon to Oliver Lutens, and he was required to go to a town, New Million, which was 40 miles away from the city. So he was quite excited that today he will go to a countryside and he will visit a country, a place which is not that far different from a city area. So with that excitement he reached over there. Now at this railway station he meets a person who identifies himself as Bill. So when he reached the station, he was there for Oliver Lutens, okay, and he was introduced to a person who was a hack driver. Okay, now he was a delivery man and he introduced himself as Bill. He was quite helpful and a frank person who really took up the search of Oliver Lutens by young lawyer to be his own job, and he was very helpful to this young lawyer. Now Bill appears to know everyone in the village and promises to search Lutens for the lawyer. So he just projected himself that he is enough knowledgeable, he knows everyone over there and he will be a helpful person. So he offered that he should hire his hack and he can his services, and the young lawyer, he hired Bill for his services, as he will pay $2 per hour basis. Okay. So he takes the lawyer for a ride and dupes him of lots of money. Okay. Now this delivery man, the hack driver, he keeps on taking, he rides, took the young lawyer to various places, to one place, to the poker shop, then to the barber shop, then to another barber shop, and then he just caught hold a friend of Oliver Lutens, and finally they kept on wandering up till 1 p.m. Okay, after a long search of somewhere around 6 hours, they did not find Lutens. Now in between of them he offered a lunch also to him, packed by his wife. They went to the hillside and they enjoyed the meal over there. So Bill kept narrating about New Million, how it is, how the people are, and the young lawyer was very impressed by the way he was been describing the place. And after that they went to the Oliver Lutens' mother's farm. Okay, so there they had a very frightening experience. The experience was really not good at all. She was been threatening both of them with the iron rod and shouting at them, and finally it was the time for the young lawyer to take the train for his return journey. Okay, now after that, the next day when the lawyer goes to the village, one of his colleagues, he discovers that it was Lutens who posed as Bill on the previous day. Now what exactly happened? He went to his law firm without having Oliver Lutens with him, and everybody his boss was very annoyed, and now this time he asked him to go along with one of his companions who has worked with Oliver Lutens, so that he will be able to recognize. Now when they reached the station, this young lawyer, he just saw Bill along with Oliver Lutens' mother, and he was very surprised to find both of them talking in a very friendly manner. But at the same time he introduced his companion that this is Bill and he has helped him the previous day to search Oliver Lutens. Now when he revealed about Bill, that person, he came out with the fact that, see, this person himself is Oliver Lutens and he was deceiving you as in identifying himself as Bill. Actually Bill was Oliver Lutens, and the young lawyer was being deceived by Oliver Lutens for the complete day, and that is everyone except the lawyer have a hearty laugh at the predicament of the lawyer. So when he went down, he just went to the to Oliver Lutkins. He served summon on him. So everybody was been laughing over there, and they were making fun of the predicament, the suffering which actually the young lawyer happened, and the way he was been feeling depressed, that he was being betrayed by a person in such a manner, he was being befooled, okay, and everybody was making fun of him. So in this manner, this story is being complete here, where this story conveys the message that we should be very keenful, we should not be that innocent and simple so that anybody can befool us right away like that. Okay, and another aspect is that finding an innocent person, we should not try to betray or fool or deceive the person like that. Okay, so we should and also that we should not blindly trust everyone like that, like the young lawyer did. Okay, so this was our story, the hack driver. Now let us move to our last chapter of the footprints, which will be included in our syllabus this time, that is Bholi. Now Bholi is been written by A.K. Abbas, who is basically a film director. Okay, now this story is about the transformation of a young child, a very shy, timid girl, and who was being ignored and neglected, and she transformed into a bold young girl who was intelligent enough to take her own decisions and understand the rights and wrongs of the life because of the with the help of her teacher. Okay, so here is Bholi. Now this story is about a girl who is ugly and who stammers. Okay, so she is been considered to be dumb-witted because she fell down when she was hardly 10 months old. She fell down from the cot, and her some part of her brain was been damaged. Now after that, when she was 2 years old, she was been attacked by the smallpox, and because of that she had ugly black poke marks on her face, and that's why she was not at all been presentable and pretty. Now earlier she used to be when she was a small child. Okay, and because of lack of confidence, when she started speaking, which she started very late at the age of 5, she started stammering. So overall she was, because of all these aspects, she was being called as Bholi, right? Actually her name is Sulekha. Okay, now she is as she is different from her siblings, she does not get proper care in her family. So being the 7th child in her family, she had 3 elder sisters and 3 elder brothers. All the brothers were being educated very nicely. They were being sent to cities for their higher education. Her elder sister was being married already, Radha, and Mangla got married when she was 7 years old. Okay, and at that time what happened, and another aspect was being Bholi and being ignorant, being dumb-witted. She was not being taken care well by the family. She was a neglected child. Nobody bothered, cared about her. Okay, her father sends her to a school because of a command from the Tehsildar. Now what happened, one day there was a school which was being inaugurated, and Tehsildar, when he came, he asked his father Ramlal, who was the revenue collector, Nambardar, and he asked him to send his daughters to the school to set an example in front of the villagers. So he decided that he will send Bholi to school, and finally Bholi was being sent to school along her father. He took her to the school. Now the teacher in the school becomes the true mentor of Bholi and helps her gain some confidence. Now on the very first day, the teacher was being a very nice, pleasant personality, and she induced lots of confidence in Bholi that if she continues to study properly and take the education very sincerely, she will be able to gain confidence enough that she can speak in the normal manner as other students speak. So finally, with the help of her teacher, who was also a mentor to her, she finally took all her learnings and she gained confidence also. Fine, and time flies. With that, Bholi becomes a young woman who is educated, unlike her sisters. Now, with the passage of time, things transformed. Bholi also she was now a young woman who was being educated. All rest of other sisters were not being sent to school, so they were illiterates. Okay, so now Bholi was being a very beautiful now young girl. Okay, not exactly beautiful, she had her ugly poke marks still there. Okay, but she was enough intelligent now. Now, because of her ugly looks and pock-marked face, her father agrees to marry her off to a person who is of double her age, that is Bishambarnath. Now, there was a marriage proposal from Bishambarnath and he was double of her age, somewhere around the age of Ramlal, and since her parents, they compromised for their marriage proposal. They accepted that marriage proposal for Bholi because they considered that with that ugly poke marks and being a senseless girl, being a dumb-witted girl, there won't be any person who would agree to marry Bholi. So finally they decided that they will accept the proposal. Okay, Bholi agrees with her parents' decision. She also did not denied for that marriage proposal, considering it to be a prestige issue for their parents. Okay, now, but when the bridegroom arrives, he demands a hefty dowry to marry her. Now, what happened when the marriage procession, it was a grand marriage procession, that Bharat which came, it was grand and splendor, wonderful. Everybody was very happy to find Bholi to be getting married in a so nice, wonderful wedding ceremony. Okay, sisters were also being jealous about that. Okay. But the bridegroom, when he saw the poke marks just for a while, when the veil was being away from Bholi's face, so immediately he kept a condition that if only he will only marry the Bholi if he will be paid a amount of rupees 5,000. Now this was a very big amount for Ramlal. He kept pleading to him, but nothing happened, and finally he agreed to pay 5,000 rupees to Bishambarnath. Now, her father somehow manages that money. Now, he brought that money and he gave it to Bishambarnath. Now, the Bholi is August at this development and decides to rebel against all. Now, Bholi was been witness over to all that episode which was been happening over there, and she had a very feeling of disgusting feeling for that man, and finally she made up her mind that she is not going to marry Bishambarnath, and she declares it very loudly amongst all that. Just take your money back, Pitaji, and I am not going to marry this man. Now, she decides to spend the rest of her life to serve her parents and to teach in the school. Now, this decision was being criticized and she was being disgraced by everybody who was being present there. And finally, Bishambarnath, he took away his Bharat also, his friends and family, they all went back. Finally, the marriage was been cancelled. After that, Ramlal, he was very depressed and feeling that shameful also. He was being ashamed of Bholi's decision, and then he asked Bholi that what will be your future. On that aspect, Bholi answered that, see father, I will serve you, I will serve my mother in your old age, and I will teach in my school where I have learned, where I have gained all these learnings. And then finally she asked her teacher for an assurance whether she has taken a right decision or not, and the teacher who was been standing there, who has come to attend the marriage procession of Bholi, she assured, she gave her consent that yes Bholi, you have taken a right decision, and she was being very satisfied. A real feeling of satisfaction was there in her teacher's eyes, looking at Bholi, that see, her masterpiece is ready with all intelligence and enough confidence that now she can face the world, and she understands she is enough intelligent now. She has transformed, she has now become Sulekha rather than Bholi. Now she is no more Bholi there, she has become Sulekha, and now she can face the world, and she is confident enough to take all the decisions on her own. So this is how our story of Bholi is all about, where we get a message that the little love and care and affection when being given to a neglected child, he can also be nurtured, and he can be groomed in a very intelligent and a confident person. Okay, also it highlights the importance of education for the girls. So this is all about our various chapters which we are having in our syllabus from the footprints. Please go through the videos again and prepare your PDF work, copy work very nicely, and all the best for your pre-board exams. Thank you, students.